guys, so I'm going to show you what I made in the month of September. For the entire month I have been in Iceland, and right now I am in Reykjavik, and tomorrow I'm going to catch a flight back to Canada. But I stayed at a textile residency in Blondos, which is about a 4.5 hour drive north, and it was absolutely beautiful. I got so inspired and I made so much art, so I'm going to show it all to you right now. When going there, I brought 30 undyed hanks of yarn. So a hank is, this is dyed, but a hank is this, and you spin it into a ball and you get a ball, or a cake. I call them cakes. So I brought 30 of these undyed, and I wanted to do all of the dyeing, which I really enjoyed. I've done a lot of dyeing in the past for like majority of things, but I'm officially completely moving over to only dyeing my own yarn. I switched over to a different type of wool, and the wool I'm currently using is called Wonder Woolen, and it's by a handmaiden / fleece artist. Their wool is so soft. It's all made in Canada and sourced from the Maritimes, so everything is made in Canada. So I'll only be using their wool, which is so soft, and then I'll be dyeing it all myself, which has made me so happy. When I first got there, I did some natural dye and did a purple and a yellow, and then the first like actual project I finished was the sun hat, and I'll put up pictures of me wearing it, obviously, because you know, I'll just put it on, why not? The reason I made the sun hat is because when I first got here, it was sunny all the time, and the sunsets were so beautiful and just so orange purple, and I loved it so much, and I was like, I want to create a Teletubby baby sun, and so that's what I did here. It took me a while because I was working through a few problems, and I ended up dip dyeing these, so that's how I got the gradient from yellow all the way to orange. But I'm very happy with how this turned out. Oh. And then the next thing I did, this was with the natural dye, so lac and then Osage orange is the yellow, and I created another teapot. This time this teapot just has like a split between the eyes compared to the other one, and then I created a bunch of flowers because I thought flowers would be cute. This one is really soft because I also started mixing in silk and mohair into the wool I was using. After the teapot, I made a moon to go along with the sun, and this moon's really simple. It's nothing like really complicated, and I've still pins and things, just ignore that. But I was doing a lot of dyeing things and then bringing back and dyeing it on top again, and it was just experimenting with a lot of things, and so I like how this turned out. It's quite cute. Okay, so after the moon, I made the star. I haven't added any clasps to anything because I'm not ready to commit to that yet. I'm very happy with this star. I think it's so fun. I'm definitely going to be making more in the future. My plan for the future is to make a bunch of these in different colors and then sell them. So if you want one, definitely check out Instagram because that's where we'll be posting them. I actually made a cat, and I'm not done this one. This one hasn't been felted, so you can tell it's quite rigid compared to the other things. So if you look at like this was felted, this was unfelted, you can quite tell the difference. So I'm gonna finish this when I get home. When this is ready to be sold, I'll post it on Instagram and it'll probably be on my website. The next thing I made was this vest. One of the first nights I was in Blondos, there was this giant meteorite that like flew by. I was sitting on a hill with a friend, and we looked up and there was just this like rock on fire, and it was like the most amazing thing I had ever seen. I grew up in the city, so I rarely see stars, and it was absolutely incredible, and of course got some northern lights going on. And this vest is like a lot different than other things I've created because I put it through a felting loom, and so a felting loom is just this giant machine with a bunch of felting needles and goes and it'll just put this through the machine and it'll felt the wool together. So these pieces are attached through needle felting through this giant machine, and I'm very happy on how it turned out. Every single color you see is hand dyed, so I had to dye the wool ahead of time and then wait for it to dry and then make something out of it. I have such an array of colors, and I'm very happy with how much of a diverse color selection I got. So the next thing I made, the biggest thing I made, is the horse skirt. A group of artists I was with at the residency, we all ended up going horseback riding, and oh my gosh, I love the horses here. There are so many horses here. There's so many horses, so many sheep, and the horses are like on the smaller side, so they're all so cute, and I love them so much. But we're just like surrounded by horses all the time. So here are a bunch of different little horses. Each one is based off of a different horse I saw, and I'll do a side by side. but they're all on top of a little hill. And I have 6 horses in total, and this took me a while. It's quite heavy, it took a lot of wool, and the inside is actually lined with cotton, so that's what gives it the sturdiness and the rigidness to kind of keep that like boxy shape while it's on you. The little manes are made of mohair and silk, and they're so sweet. Everything is mixed with mohair and silk, so that's why it's so soft. I'm really happy with how the hills turned out. I did 3 different types of greens, and then I mixed it with different colors of mohair and silk. Probably my favorite piece that I've made here. Okay, so the next thing I made is actually this pair of sleeves. This is actually a pattern from Made in the Moment, and Emma, who is Made in the Moment, made these sleeves, and I saw them online, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll follow a pattern and do that, because like I don't follow patterns at all. Everything that I've just shown you is free-handed, and I just like make it up as I go, and so I really struggled to switch my brain to like pattern mode, and so it was really different for me to start making a pattern, and it was kind of frustrating because like I would just start doing something and then I would be like, okay, start freestyling. I'm like, oh dang it, then I had to undo it because you can't freestyle. And I'm definitely going to be wearing them all the time. There's also wool hand dyed, obviously, and it is mixed with mohair and silk, and so they're just so soft. Everything is so soft, which I love. Then after that, I made a bikini, and I had never done a crochet bikini, but I put 22 on it because it was just my 22nd birthday a couple days ago. Sorry, there's just a kid screaming outside. I don't know if you can hear that, but we're gonna try to ignore this kid. This is also mixed with silk and mohair and the wool. This is lac, that's natural dye, and then this is acid dye. So mixing natural dye and acid dye, I know I'm so bad. Bottoms, they're just really simple and you tie them around. And people are probably like, oh, that's so itchy. It's not itchy. It's really soft material. It's quite luxurious. Okay, so the last piece I made is based off of a church in Reykjavik. It's on the highest elevation of the city, and then it's the tallest thing around there, and if you go into the church you can see this beautiful panoramic view. A very beautiful building, and I wanted to put it on a vest. Hallgrímskirkja. Hallgrímskirkja. I think I'm doing that right. I have the church on the front, and then I have the name of it on the back, and this is the first time I've done like lettering on crochet, and I really enjoyed it. I had such a fun time, so I might do more lettering in the future because I had such a fun time doing this. The piece was not put through the felting loom because I didn't have time. I finished it like the day I left, so you can really tell the difference of something that's put through a felting loom and then something that isn't. It's a lot more holy. A lot of the details I got on here were surface crochet, and all the surface crochet is done in silk and mohair, and so it's just very fluffy, very soft. Yeah, so that ended really abruptly. I did not film an outro, so I'm sorry about that. So here's a picture of a horse. I will attach my social medias if you would like to follow me there, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, you should tell me, because I'm kind of horrible at this. Anyways, I hope you have a good day. Take care. Bye!